The World Cup is the biggest sporting event in the world, perhaps just before or joint with the Olympics. But you'll be surprised how little you know about the World Cup in general. There are also some very interesting facts about this year's tournament, so stay tuned to find them out. Number 1. This year sees Russia host the World Cup, bringing us to the first fact of this video. Russia is the largest nation to ever host the World Cup. At 17.1 million kilometers squared, it's twice as large as the previous largest host in history, the United States, which is 9.16 million square kilometers large. Number 2. To host the tournament, Russia has built 12 brand new stadiums in 11 cities for the tournament, with Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow hosting the final. It has a capacity of 81,000. Number 3. This year there's an estimated 3 million World Cup attendances, with approximately 1 million of them traveling from outside of Russia to view the matches. 54% of ticket sales are a result of this international demand. These fans will be able to travel to Russia without visas, as their fan ID will act as a multi-entry and exit visa to and from Russia. Number 4. The current World Cup holders, Germany, are likely to be the best supported foreign team at Russia 2018, judging from flight bookings as revealed by global travel tech firm Travelport. They reported a 44% increase in German travelers to the tournament. Number 5. The World Cup ball has changed a lot over time, getting lighter and more technical in design. The materials have changed over time, as has the manufacturer responsible for designing and providing the balls for the tournament. This year at Russia, the Telstar 18 by Adidas will be used. Designed to be a modern interpretation of the iconic 1970 Telstar ball, the ball only has 6 panels in an innovative design, whereas the original Telstar had 32 panels fastened together. The ball also has an embedded near-field communication chip, which will not be used in the World Cup. But it will be useful for consumers because it will allow you to connect the chip to your smartphone to access information about your kicks or headers of the ball. At the factory in Pakistan where the football is manufactured, they produce over 700,000 footballs a month. Number 6. At the 2014 World Cup, the Adidas Brazuca was used, and it was the most tested ball Adidas ever produced, taking over 2.5 years to make. The final Rio version was the same technical design but had different colors, instead having green, gold, and black. Since 2006, Adidas has created special balls designed for the final, so it will be interesting to see if they completely change the design for this event or even add all the match details to the ball like previous finals. The most iconic ball is the Adidas Telstar from the 1970s tournament, named after the satellite put into orbit in 1962. It featured an iconic black and white design which was perfect because it made it easy to see on black and white televisions. Prior to that, other companies were tasked with making the ball, like Slazenger, a British company which made the 1966 World Cup ball made of 25 irregular panels with no markings or branding on the ball. The very first ball used in the World Cup was known as the T model, and frankly, it doesn't look like something you should be kicking around. Number 7. To reveal the World Cup 2018 logo, it was sent into space and revealed by astronauts at the International Space Station. The logo was designed by Lisbon-based Brandy Essential, and its main focus was to capture Russia's pioneering in space using stars and flames, which is also sort of a metaphor for the magical tournament, represented by flames lifting off the design. Number 8. When it comes to TV audiences, the 2018 World Cup looks set to break many all-time records. Global Web Index, a research company, is forecasting total viewership of 3.4 billion, or nearly half the total world population of 7.6 billion for the entire tournament. That's a 6% increase in viewership from the last event in Brazil. Forecasters expect the largest TV audiences for this year's World Cup will again be in Latin America, followed by the Middle East and Africa, Asia Pacific, and Europe. Number 9. Given the US team failed to qualify for this year's World Cup, the first time since 1986, TV numbers stateside are expected to dramatically slip. It's thought that less than a quarter of the US population will tune in to watch any of the tournament matches this year, and the bulk of viewers could likely be those cheering on the Mexican team. This is expected to greatly hurt ratings for Fox, the station with the broadcasting rights for the World Cup in America. Despite not qualifying, 88,825 tickets were bought by fans from the USA, the second largest number behind Russians, who bought 871,797. Number 10. Even more surprising than the US failing to earn a spot at this year's World Cup is Italy failing to qualify. This is the first World Cup in 60 years which Italy hasn't qualified for. I bet they're wishing they were Brazil, who are the undisputed World Cup darlings, having played in every World Cup final tournament since its inception in 1930. Before I reveal the next example, you should subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. We upload amazing fact-filled list videos daily. Also, make sure to click that bell icon to stay updated, or you'll regret missing out on some amazing knowledge that could have filled your brain. Now let's get back to it. Number 11. To date, Brazil also hold the most World Cup wins with 5. They are closely followed by Germany and Italy with 4. According to current betting odds in the UK, bettors are putting their money on Brazil winning, closely followed by Spain, France, and then Germany. Last World Cup, people wagered over $1 billion in bets, but this year the 2018 World Cup is set to be the subject of much larger numbers. Number 12. 32 teams will attend this year's World Cup finals, with Panama as well as Iceland making their debut at this year's tournament. Those 32 squads are made up of 736 players. Number 13. The Golden Ball Award, presented to the best player at each FIFA World Cup finals as voted by the FIFA Technical Committee and representatives of the media, is currently held by Lionel Messi. Romario from Brazil has won it the largest number of times, twice in 1994 and 1998. The Golden Boot Award, which goes to the top goal scorer of the FIFA World Cup, is currently held by James Rodriguez, who scored 6 goals for Colombia and Brazil in 2014. And goalkeepers aren't excluded. The Golden Glove Award, awarded to the best goalkeeper of the tournament, is currently held by Manuel Neuer of Germany. Number 14. The smallest populated country to ever make it to the World Cup is Iceland, with a population of 335,000. They qualified for this year's World Cup for the first time in their history, but previously the record was set by Trinidad and Tobago, who made their first appearance in 2006 in Germany with a population of 1.37 million. The third smallest populated country that has taken part is Northern Ireland, with only 1.85 million people. These countries are really phenomenal when you think about it. With such a small population, they're still world class. Number 15. Russia's Animal Oracle, in other words, Russia's animal prophecy tasked with predicting the results, is Detal the dog. He's tasked with predicting by sniffing sheets of paper with the countries on them. He follows in the footsteps of other oracles like Paul the Octopus, who famously predicted the outcomes of several matches at the 2010 World Cup. Number 16. The current World Cup trophy was commissioned by FIFA for the 1974 World Cup after Brazil's 1970 win meant they received the previous one in perpetuity for winning the tournament 3 times. The trophy, which depicts 2 human figures holding up the earth to represent competition, is made of 18-karat gold, weighs approximately 5 kilograms, and its base contains 2 layers of malachite. Malachite was likely used to represent grass as the playing fields, and despite being rather common, it's quite rare in large pieces. Its green hue also complements gold, and it personifies the deep healing green of nature to represent the innate beauty of flowers, trees, roots, and plants, hence why it was used on the base. Out of the 53 submissions, they went with one by a private sculptor from Milan named Silvio Gazzaniga. Number 17. Despite its scandals, FIFA revenue is up. International financial documents, first reviewed by the New York Times, show that FIFA is set to generate $6.1 billion in revenue from this tournament, $1.3 billion more than the last World Cup in Brazil, and at least 10% above FIFA's own predictions. The reason is China. Though TV revenue is slightly above their target, sponsorship deals from China are making a huge impression on revenue. Though in 2014 only one Chinese company sponsored the World Cup, this year 7 out of the 20 official sponsors are from China. This is despite the national team failing to qualify for this year's World Cup. Even so, at present, 8 players at the World Cup play in the Chinese Super League. Though of course, they're all international players. It seems the Chinese president has focused on developing soccer as a national priority since 2015 though, so it's likely China will be a great threat to current teams in the future. Number 18. On the point of China, to meet the demand of Chinese football fans during their visit, 100,000 crayfish are being sent from China to Russia to feast upon. That's nearly exactly the same number of Chinese tourists expected to be making their way to the World Cup this year, so maybe they have each ordered one. Number 19. In an effort to clamp down on illegal streaming, 354 illegal set-top boxes were seized by Hong Kong customs in raids in Wan Chai and Sham Shui Po ahead of the World Cup. This haul is worth 41,000 US dollars. To stream the World Cup, bar owners in Hong Kong have been quoted upwards of $6,000 for Now TV packages, which is why many bars in Hong Kong and around the world have refused and will not be showing the World Cup. On top of that, 165,000 US dollars worth of illegal betting slips have already been found by prison officers in Hong Kong jails, proving just how many people want to watch. Number 20. The club with the largest number of players called into national squads is Manchester City, with 16 players being recruited by their respective countries. This is more than both Real Madrid at 15 and Barcelona at 14. Which World Cup fact surprised you the most? And do you know of any others that should have been mentioned? Let me know in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.